Today, I'm going to be talking about how to make the universe give you money, actually make it. And so I would like to mention I am casting both to YouTube and to Facebook. And so I'm going to go back and forth between the two. Make sure to let me know, if you're here, say hi, hit the like button. If you've got questions about manifesting abundance, put them into the chat because I'm going to answer as many of those as I can throughout the course of this live. But again, today we're talking about how to make the universe give you money. And make is a strong word. It sounds very demanding. And usually we talk about receiving and letting go. What I'm going to talk about in this live is unpopular, I would say, because it's a much more demanding energy, but it works. And so we're going to talk about some attitudes that make the universe give you money. They are unpopular attitudes. They are things that you may feel a bit weird about doing, or maybe even a bit wrong about doing, but they work. And something that I would mention really quick is that when something is unpopular, a lot of times that works. Okay. So if the popular attitude about getting rich worked, then everybody would be rich, right? But unfortunately, most people are not rich. And so it's the unpopular attitudes that often are more effective when it comes to attracting money and making the universe give you money. Okay, so again, drop your questions about manifesting money into the chat. I'll do my best to answer as many as I can, but I'm going to start off with my first point here. Okay, and hello to everybody there. Say hi to me. Let me know that you're here. All right. So here's our first attitude we want to talk about. Okay, this is an unpopular attitude, but it works at making the universe give you money. I am spoiled. I am expensive and or I am entitled. Okay, I am spoiled, expensive and or entitled. Unpopular way of looking at oneself. A lot of times we're taught to be very humble, okay, very humble. Don't talk yourself up too much. You certainly don't want to be seen as spoiled or entitled or privileged or anything like that, right? However, if you have that attitude, the universe will give you more money because the universe always delivers what you're putting out. Okay. Oh, hello, Garfield. I see you there over on Facebook. Hello, Ashley Monique. Hello, Kaylee. Hello, Cheryl. So many people here. Hello, Annika from Finland. Hello, everybody. Say hello. But yes, having that attitude makes you more of a magnet to money. And I would say that for me, this one was kind of a struggle to implement because I was taught very much to be humble. You don't want to come off as being better than other people or thinking that you're better than other people. But people who have that attitude that they are expensive, that they are privileged, that they are entitled, they get more. Okay. And so that's an attitude that you want to adopt. Now, there's many ways that you can do this kind of on the low so that, you're not just putting your nose in the air and being a jerk. All right. But let's talk about what these things are. Okay. So one thing that you want to do is to cultivate this attitude about yourself is to start to treat yourself as if you're privileged, you're entitled and you're spoiled. Okay. So a few things that you can do, you know, wear the jewelry. Okay. Use the nice china. Okay. If you have a beverage. So today I've got this one here. I've got this is Baccarat crystal. Okay. A lot of times this is water, not vodka, guys. I'm not drinking, but I'll put water or sparkling water, juice, whatever into nice glasses like that. A lot of times people have stuff like that laying around their house. They've got crystal, they've got fine china, but they're not using it. So that's one way that you can emit that attitude that you are spoiled and privileged. When you sit down to eat, sit down at your dining room table, use actual silverware, use the fine china, use the little teacups. Okay, make it look nice. Another thing that I do in my home, on my dining room table, I always have fresh flowers. Now, some of this stuff you may not be able to afford right now, and that's okay. But as you can, be willing to do those kinds of things. Put on the perfume, wear the nice clothing, you know, do it up a little bit. Okay, so the way that I like to think about this is in putting yourself in a scenario where, live as if you're living in a country club, or live as if you're living in a five-star hotel. And you may not be, but to the best of your ability, treat yourself like you are pampered, spoiled, entitled, and privileged. Because you'll start to believe it. You'll start to believe that you are entitled to the nicer things in life because you are surrounding yourself with those things and using those things every day and normalizing them. That's the trick there, is that you're normalizing those kinds of things. You're normalizing that more entitled lifestyle. It's normal for you to wear nice clothes. It's normal for you to have nice perfume on. It's normal for you to use the fine china. Okay. That's going to put you in that resonance of that attitude. That's one way you can do it on the low in your house where you don't have to stick your nose up in the air. But again, that's our first suggestion here. Okay. You want to develop the attitude of I am spoiled, entitled, and privileged. Again, this is an unpopular attitude. A lot of people don't want to have that attitude because it looks bad. But remember, most people tell you to do the opposite, and most people aren't rich. Okay. And I know that as I have adopted this attitude more for myself, my wealth has grown. I've seen it work for other people. So if you haven't tried this one, please do. Again, today we are casting live both on YouTube and on Facebook. If you've got questions, please put them in the chat. Hello, Joe Fox on Facebook. How are you? You see other people here on YouTube. Hello, Mark from Thailand. Emily, hi. Hello, everybody. But yes, go ahead and put your questions about manifesting, specifically abundance would be great. So we can kind of stay on topic for this particular video. But manifesting abundance, go ahead and put your questions into the chat. And I've got more points here on how to get the universe to give you money. We got a few questions over here. Ooh, okay. I want to jump to this one quick. Jesla25 on YouTube. Hi, Andrea. Please, could you explain how manifesting money works in the quantum realm? I like that question. That's a fun question, right? The quantum realm. How does manifesting money work on the quantum realm? Okay. Well, the quantum realm is essentially infinites. Okay. So everything exists in an infinite supply, in infinite locations, in infinite places. And you, as a consciousness, okay, what you do is you lock your focus into one particular reality at a time. Okay. So from the infinite, you snap into focus one particular location or snapshot or frame. So one way that I've heard this explained before that I really like is that your reality is like a film. So, back in the day when they used to record films, they do it on a film strip. And so it was one frame by one frame by one frame by one frame, and they'd run them together really quickly and it would create a running picture. Okay. Well, that's kind of what's going on, is that you have one frame that you're locking into next to another, and you're running your projector of consciousness through it. So from the infinite, you're snapping into one particular possible outcome. Okay. And so the reason why I'm bringing this up is that money, like everything else in the universe, is infinite. It exists everywhere. Ooh, excuse me. It exists everywhere all the time simultaneously. Okay. So right now, the little frame that I'm looking at here in this picture, okay, you don't see any money right in front of me. Okay. But there are other realities where I'm sitting here doing this exact same video, but I got cash in my hand right now. All right. But you and me right now, we're locked into a reality where that money doesn't exist in this frame. Okay. So that's the thing to understand, is that your consciousness is what's deciding where the money shows up. The money actually exists everywhere, all the time, in infinite supply. But your projector of consciousness is what is looking for a particular outcome. So if you are walking through life and your projector of consciousness is saying, this is a world without money. This is a world without money. This is a world where I'm poor. This is a world where I lack. Well, then each frame of your reality is going to show less and less money. But if you're walking through your reality with that spoiled and entitled attitude that we just talked about, now you're going to see that money is showing up in more and more of the frames. Okay, so the quantum realm is really just the realm of the infinite. It's where everything exists simultaneously. You, as a consciousness, depending on what you think and focus on and believe, lock into focus particular outcomes. You decide where you're going to see the money when. But in other realities, it exists right there where it isn't. Okay, so everything exists and doesn't exist simultaneously in every location. I hope that makes sense. Okay. All right, guys. Again, we are doing a video today live on how to get the universe to give you money. And if you've got questions about manifesting abundance specifically, please go ahead and put those into the chat because I'm going to answer as many of those questions as possible. And I'm also going to be giving you some suggestions on how to get the universe to give you money. All right, quick note. I've been talking about a sale that's coming up. It actually goes live today. It's actually been live so far today. We've had quite a few people already sign up. If you are interested in either of these two programs, this is the lowest price I'm going to offer them at all year. They are my Manifesting Mastery program and my Signs from the Universe program. So, Manifesting Mastery is a program for new or intermediate students of the law of attraction who either have not been having results with the law of attraction or they've been having spotty or inconsistent results. Okay, so this is a boot camp that's going to walk you through how to manifest more consistently, more effectively. All right, the other program is my Signs from the Universe program. And that one's all about learning how to interpret guidance that you are receiving from the universe on a day to day basis so that you're consistently lining up with outcomes that you want to experience. All right, so both of those programs are on sale right now for 50% off. Mary, if you would go ahead and drop those links into the chat, that would be great. So there is a couple links to those. My assistant Mary 1111 on YouTube will drop those into the chat. On Facebook, I believe I have some links that are already up. Ooh, I got the Manifesting Mastery one. There we go. I'll put that one into YouTube. Hopefully you guys can see those. If you can't, let me know on Facebook if you don't see those. I'll see if I can figure out how to put them in. Show. But yeah, if you sign up for either of those programs, you can get them for 50% off using the coupon code POWER, POWER. Again, that's POWER. You can sign up for one or both, and that code will be expiring in 1 week. Okay. All right, back to business here. Let's talk about how to make the universe give you money. Give you money. Okay, so we talked about the first one, which is cultivating the attitude that you are spoiled, entitled, privileged. Again, these are all unpopular attitudes, but unpopular attitudes work when it comes to manifesting money. Okay, because if everybody had these attitudes, everybody would be wealthy, but most people do not, which is why most people are not. Here's our next attitude, unpopular attitude. I can have what I want. I can have what I want. This is a super important attitude to cultivate if you don't have it yet. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. How often do you find yourself in a situation where you want something, but you settle for something less because it costs less? I'm sorry, because it costs less money. Okay. So this is a very common thing where people will get less than they want because of the price point or because they're trying to save money. Now, I will say this, if you're not in the position where you can afford a private plane, then no, okay. You can't afford it, you can't afford it. All right? That's okay. What I'm really talking about here is where you do have the ability to get what you want. Are you giving yourself permission to get those things? Or are you trying to save a couple bucks, a couple dollars, and either go without or get less than what you want? The attitude that we want to have as much as possible is I can have what I want. Okay. So, case in point, um, last year I was really on a tear with this attitude. I was getting all kinds of things I wanted. I, I was going shopping all the time. I was buying all kinds of stuff. And I talked about it a lot on my YouTube channel and about how buying stuff can actually make you more of a magnet for more money. And it absolutely can. And then at the beginning of this year, something got in my head about, you know what? You've been spending a lot. Let's try and pump the brakes a little bit. Let's try and save a little money. And so I started to go in the opposite direction. Well, you don't need this, cancel this subscription, don't buy that. And I started telling myself that and starting to default more back into that older way of thinking. Now, I didn't all the way go there, but I was really going with that get what I want attitude. And I decided it was kind of inappropriate. And so I started pulling back the reins. And then magically, all of a sudden, my income started to go down. Those two things were correlated. Correlated. As soon as I started pumping the brake, oh, I can't have that. I can't have that. My income started to go down to match that attitude that I can't have those things that I want. Okay. And so as I noticed that, I'm like, well, I guess we got to go back to getting the things that we want and started to creep my spending back up and get the things that I want with that attitude. And then my income started to go back up. So I've seen this time and time again. And I know there is a feeling that that's being irresponsible. It's being irresponsible to get the things that you want. You should be saving your pennies for a rainy day. You should not be getting things that are frivolous. Okay. That's inappropriate. That's the popular opinion. Okay. When you let that opinion get into your mind, the message that you put out into the universe is that, I don't deserve this much abundance. I don't need this much abundance. And you will literally watch your resources come down to match that attitude of, I can't afford this or I can't have this. So this isn't something that you have to go all balls to the wall with. Okay. You don't have to just immediately go out and buy all kinds of stuff. But where you can, you want to start to allow yourself to get the things that you want. So the recommendation that I always give is if you go grocery shopping, let's say that you go to the bread aisle and there are several different kinds of bread, give yourself permission to get the one you actually want. Don't get the one that's $2 cheaper just because it's $2 cheaper. Get the one that you actually want. And then you reinforce that by saying to yourself, that's right. I just got the bread I wanted. I always get what I want. Okay. You want to start to reinforce that. Every time you get yourself something nice that you like, that's right. I got that. Why? Because I always get what I want. Now, notice that this is an affirmation. So that every time that you're buying something, you're telling yourself this, you're putting that message out into the universe. I always get what I want. I always get what I want. I always get what I want. The universe going to give you more of what you want. So again, this attitude may sound kind of sketchy or inappropriate, but it works. It absolutely works. All right. All right, guys. Again, if you got questions about manifesting money, put them into the chat. Hello, everybody. Hello, Marco. Oh, we got a super chat here. Thank you. Is it Liron? I hope I'm saying your name right. Liron says, can you spend yourself rich by spending? Can you spend yourself rich by spending freely? Yeah, I mean that's what I was talking about exactly. So, but the trick with that is start where you are. Okay, so don't go to the point where you're spending and you're feeling really stressed out about it. So, but use momentum because the law of attraction will build with momentum. So if the idea of going out and buying something like a luxury car is just stressful, I wouldn't do that. But instead, get the nice socks, get the nice pants, right? Start there and notice that, oh, I got what I wanted and then I was a match to more money and then I got what I wanted and I was a match to more money. That's what I did. Okay. I didn't start by buying the luxury items. I started with the smaller items and then noticing that was working. And that's a really easy way to ease into it where you see the evidence and then you build into this idea that you can have really anything that you want. You can get the nice watches and the nice cars and the nice whatever because you've eased into that idea. Now, you may already be at the point where you're close enough. You can do a luxury car. And if you can, and you want it, go get it. Okay. All right. We got some stuff over here on Facebook too. Benoit. I hope I'm saying that right. Money has always been too much abundant to me and creates to me all kinds of headaches. Just getting slowly ready to get back to it after years of spiritual growth. I'm glad you brought that up. There's a very common perception people have about money. Um, and it's common. So a lot of people believe this and it's mentioned a lot. I'm glad you brought this up. You ever heard more money, more problems? Okay. More money, more problems. That's a common thought a lot of people have, is that your life may become more complicated the more money that you have. And that can create limitations with money and stress with money and problems with money. Please do. We were talking earlier about the quantum realm. Okay. So all things are possible, all things are infinite. There are realms where your abundance makes your life easier, not harder. So that's something I would be focusing on. Money makes my life easier. My life is easier the more money I have. Okay. Rather than more money, more problems, more money, more issues. Money causes more headaches. Money causes the greedy people to come out of the woodwork. Notice that where our focus is will determine how our experience with money is. So just because you manifest money doesn't mean it has to be a good experience, right? So be focused on that idea. Money makes my life easier. Okay. Money makes my life easier. And as you attract money, it will make your life easier. Glad you brought that up. Really glad. All right. Okay. Our next suggestion here: how to make the universe give you money. Again, these are kind of unpopular attitudes that you want to adopt if you want to attract more money. Again, when we take the popular attitude, when we take the way the herd thinks about money and apply it to how we behave, then we end up attracting money like the herd. And unfortunately, the majority of people, at least that I notice, are not experiencing the kind of wealth that they want. So if there's a popular way of dealing with money, it's probably not going to make you money. Okay. And if there's an unpopular attitude about money, chances are that one's going to be more effective. And so these are ones that I have found to be very effective at drawing money to you. Okay. So here's our next attitude. It's kind of similar to the I'm spoiled and expensive. It's similar, but I like this one because it's visual and there's many ways that you can play with this. And I feel like it's true. Okay. All right. So you want to view yourself, okay, as royalty. View yourself as the way I like to think of this is okay, you are the creator of your reality, right? Therefore, you are the king or the queen or the emperor or the empress of your reality. Okay. You're in charge. You're the king, you're the queen, the emperor, the empress. You want to start to identify yourself as that person. You want to carry yourself as that person. And again, this is a more kind of snooty kind of way of dealing with yourself that some people will find to be uppity and inappropriate. Okay. But it's very good at making you a stronger magnet for money for a couple of reasons. The first reason is somebody who is perceived as royalty is somebody who is perceived as having money, is perceived as being wealthy, is perceived as being at the top of the pile. Okay, so when you have that attitude that I'm a queen, I'm a king, and that's the way you feel about yourself, that's the message that you're putting out into the universe. I'm the wealthiest person. Okay, that allows more money to come to you. The other reason I really like this imagery when it comes to, creating your reality is that the king or the queen or the empress or the emperor, they are in charge. They are the ones making the decisions. They're the ones who are deciding how things go. It is not the outside world that is determining how the kingdom is run. No, it is the king or the queen or the emperor or the empress. So the more that you start to identify yourself as this character in your own universe, the more you're going to take more control over your own reality, and reality is going to do what you want it to do because you have decided you are the one in charge. And the universe always obeys you. It always obeys you. It's just that most of the time people are sitting there telling the universe, well, I'm a victim. Things don't work out for me. And the universe obeys them and gives them that experience. But if you're telling the universe, I'm the king, the queen, the emperor, the empress, I'm in charge, then the universe is going to show that to you. Where more of these things that you're asking for are just showing up because the universe is going to obey you because you are the one in charge. Now, you don't have to go around telling everybody this. This can be an internal monologue. This can be an internal monologue. I like to play with it in a few different ways. So one way that I play with it is on my phone. So I had my phone kind of rigged up. So my name in the phone isn't Andrea, it's Queen. Okay. So when I plug into Bluetooth somewhere, it says Queen's phone. Okay. So I'm seeing that all the time. I joke around with my family that I'm the queen. Okay. It's kind of this running joke. And it's a joke to them. I'm serious. Okay. But it's a joke to them. But it's funny because, now they refer to me laughingly as the queen. My daughter has a ringtone on it that plays like trumpets and it says, All hail the queen whenever I call. And that's always hilarious because sometimes I call her when she's at school and it goes off in the middle of class. But you want to start to think of yourself that way. You can put crowns in your office. There's all different things that you can do. Also, the way that you carry yourself, thinking of yourself as being regal, carrying yourself like someone who's in charge, speaking as if you are someone who's in charge. These are all things that are going to make you a stronger magnet to money. Okay. All right, guys, if you've got questions about attracting abundance, again, please put them into the chat. I am casting both to Facebook and to YouTube today. All right. And yes, if you're probably already subscribed, but if you're not, please do subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Facebook, like the post, all that jazz. You guys know it helps us out with the algorithm. Additionally, if you are new to my work and you have not taken my manifesting test, my free 5-minute manifesting test, please make sure to go ahead and do that. That's a very quick test where you can put something out and watch it come back and see very clearly that you really are the one creating your reality. That test is at manifestingtest.com. That's manifestingtest.com. Mary, if you would go ahead and drop that one into the YouTube chat, that would be great. On Facebook, again, that is manifestingtest.com. All right, let's see if you guys got some questions here for me when it comes to manifesting money. Okay. Jillian says, I don't know. My whole life is crumbling down. I've been writing an affirmation, a good one at that, for the past week now using the 369 method. And my car is about to be repossessed. Just got pulled over with three more. I don't know what that means. Sounds like you're down on your luck. I get that much. Okay. I get that. Okay. So, what I would say about that particular situation, so, and I've talked about this in previous lives. When things start to go bad and we start to focus on the idea that luck is not working out, we can go into that downward spiral where suddenly we start attracting lots of negative events. You're not the only one that's been through this. This has probably happened to everybody here. Okay. That's why they say when it rains, it pours. All right. So, if you're having that experience where all of a sudden things are going down, 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 down. What I always recommend, always, okay, put down the manifesting techniques, okay, put them down. Stop trying to make things work in your reality. Just stop, because when we're doing that, what we're doing is we're actively fighting against the problems, and we're staying more tethered in that experience where we're desperately trying to claw out of a negative experience. The pathway through the negative experience is to find a way to kind of make peace with it and to decide that even though things are crappy right now, today I'm gonna make it a good day. That's it. Not I'm gonna make money, not I'm gonna keep my car, none of that. Today I'm gonna have a good day anyway. I'm gonna have a good day. And what I mean by that is that I'm not going to do anything else other than focus on attending to my vibrational state and doing my best to get into alignment, not stay in alignment because we're not in alignment, get into alignment. So I like to think of these, like you're having a day like that, to me, that's vacation day. Okay. If I have a day like that, well, evidently today's a vacation day, meaning I am going to be checked out. Okay. I'm going to be doing whatever I feel like doing today. If I have to go to work, I'm probably going to be screwing around. Okay. I am not trying to make anything work in my reality. I am just going to focus on what's going to make me feel better. Do I need a nap? Do I need to go to the spa? Do I need to watch some comedy? Do I need to call a friend? Do I want to eat a salami sandwich? Doesn't matter what it is. The point is that you want to start to focus in on the only job I have right now is to get myself in a place where I feel better. Realizing that the more I feel better, the more I'm going to feel better. Success breeds success, just like failure breeds failure. Okay. So every little moment where you feel that sense of, oh, I feel a little better, you're doing the right work. Do some more and you'll feel a little better and you'll feel a little better and you'll feel a little better. And doing that will totally turn your day around. But as long as you're trying to get the car back, get the money back, do the 369 method, fight against the problem, now what you're saying energetically is my reality is a problem right now. There are problems that need to be attended to. There are problems that need to be attended to. And as a result, the universe will continue to give you problems to attend to. So instead, you kind of want to take this attitude of who cares about all this crap? Okay. I'm just going to do me today. Things are fine if I'm just me. Things are fine if I'm just me. And that gives you a totally different result. So take some vacation days in your mind. The only objective is to have a good time right now. That's it. That's your only singular job. One thing to do. That's it. Once you're back up there, you can 369 as much as you want. Okay. But until we're there, just put that down. You don't need to be doing that right now. It's not necessary and it's not going to be effective. You really only have one job that you need to do, and that's just to focus on doing whatever it is that's going to bring you some peace and be loving towards yourself. That's it. Okay. All right, guys. If you've got questions about manifesting money, please put them into the chat. Garfield says, that's exactly what I'm doing. I told myself I will have a lovely house in Pinecrest, Miami. However, most of all is the feeling I get when I think of it and I know I will get it. Am I on the right track? You know, asking for the things that you want, yes. If what you're saying is that when you're thinking about it, it brings you joy or excitement or it feels like possibility, yes, yes. I want to bring that up. When you have dreams that you want, so if you want like you know, th- this person wants a fancy home, okay? You have this dream that you want. Does it feel like possibility? Does it make you feel like, wow, maybe that'll happen for me someday? That's exciting. Or does it feel like I got to make this happen? Okay? The possibility is what you want to be focusing on. Like, you know what? I know I'm the creator of my reality. I could have anything that I want. I'd like that. That's crazy that could happen for me. That's amazing. That's kind of the feeling you want to have about the things that you're putting out there. A lot of times what people do is they put the dream out there and then they get very bent up on how am I going to get this? Okay? And if we get very insistent on how am I going to get this, then the message is this is hard to get. Okay, so we want to be more focused on possibility. And so when you are thinking about those things that you want, if you have that sense of like inspiration or like, wow, that's amazing, Those are really great feelings that will keep you in a solid trajectory to getting toward your dream. All right, guys, please again go ahead and put your questions about manifesting abundance into the chat. Okay, I got another tip here on how to make the universe give you money. Again, these are kind of unpopular opinions and attitudes about money that actually make you a stronger magnet to money because they switch around, how you're relating with money in a way that is more abundant. A lot of people don't like these attitudes, and that's why a lot of people don't have money, okay? Because it violates the more limited way of looking at money. Okay, so the next attitude is probably the least controversial that I have on this list. Maybe not. If you don't like it, let me know. All right, but this is the attitude of it's a drop in the bucket. It's a drop in the bucket. Okay, so the common attitude about money is that when people have to spend it, it's hard for them to part with it, or they see the money going out, or they get stressed out about things like gas went up 25 cents. Oh no, like these are the things people worry about. Milk is now an extra dollar a gallon. Okay. You want to have the opposing viewpoint, which is that it's a drop in the bucket. Okay, so here's a common, I don't know, is this like this in other countries? I got to know because here in the United States, tip culture is like something else, isn't it, guys? Like you're getting asked for tips all over the place, right? All over the place. So it doesn't really matter what kind of service you get. Everybody wants a tip now, right? It's not just restaurants and hairdressers, it's like everybody. Okay. Is it like that everywhere else? It's like that here. Okay. So you come here, bring some money because you're going to be tipping. All right. But anyway, the common way I'm hearing a lot of people dealing with this is that they're frustrated with it. They're annoyed by it. It bothers them that everybody wants a tip. Why am I spending all this money? Why am I spending all this money? However, in the moment, maybe it's an extra $2 or $3. The attitude that will attract more money to you is this is just a drop in the bucket. Who cares? It's a drop in the bucket. Now, if you have more of that attitude, it's a drop in the bucket, it's no big deal, whatever. You're not making a big deal over small amounts of money. The more money is going to come to you. Okay, you want to have that attitude. Um, and you want to work this up. So, like, we're talking about tipping a couple dollars, $3, whatever. So, let's talk about on a larger level. So, this is something I've been working with for a long time. And so now I like to think of what most people think is not a drop of the bucket. I like to try and think of it that same way. So the other day, I went to go get my car serviced. Went to go get my car serviced, and I drive a luxury vehicle. And so I went in and I, was supposed to get my oil changed, no big deal, right? But they come back and let me know, well, you're gonna need tires. You're gonna need an alignment. And because of the kind of car I have, the price tag on that was about 1,800 bucks. Okay. And when you have a situation like that where you need to buy something, like I need tires. There's no getting out of this. We're gonna have to put them on the car, or we're not gonna be able to drive, right? So I got to get this. The attitude most people will have in a situation like that is they're gonna freak out. They don't want to spend the money. They're gonna complain to everybody about it. They're gonna call their husband and yell about it. But instead, I like to take this attitude. Well, it's a drop in the bucket. Here you go. Here's my card. Thank you. Have a nice day. And I make it a non issue. The larger the amount of money that you can have that attitude towards, the more money you're going to draw into your life. Because if $1,800 is not a big deal to you and you tell the universe that that's a drop in the bucket, well, what kind of bucket do you think the universe is going to give you if that's just a drop? Okay. So again, you don't have to start with the $1,800 car stuff. Instead, you can start with lower amounts of money. But that's really the attitude that you want to have. If you're buying lunch for your friends, this is just a drop in the bucket. Okay. Avoid that trap of feeling like I'm letting go of something so important. Okay. Remember, you're the king or the queen or the emperor or the empress. Money's not important. Okay. And you got to have that attitude about it. It's not that important. It's whatever. It's not that big of a deal. If it's not that big of a deal, it's easy for you to manifest. And you may have noticed this, that the things that you don't take seriously are very easy for you to manifest. So like let's say that you're really good at basketball. You've always been good at basketball. Well, you don't take it very seriously, and you can go out there and school everybody every time you play. Or maybe you're really good at making friends, and everybody else freaks out when they go to the party, but not you, because it's easy. You don't worry about it and you manifest more friends. Maybe you're a really good cook. You've always been good at cooking. Well, when you go into the kitchen or if it's Thanksgiving dinner and it's a big deal, you're not freaking out. You take it easy and it all gets done, no problem. Whereas someone like me who sucks at cooking would be freaking out and it wouldn't come out well. Well, that's the way you want to think about money. It's not that big of a deal. The less of a big deal it is to you, the more of it you are going to manifest. All right, guys, again, feel free to put your questions about manifesting abundance into the chat. Regardless of whether or not they've actually provided the service. Joanna, yeah, it's true. Sometimes you're tipping for nothing, right? Drop in the bucket. Who cares? Money's not important. Oh, it's like that in the UK? Ah, see, I've never been. I had no idea. Maybe it's like that everywhere. Do they use like the little iPads where they're like 10, 15, 20%? Do they do that? Ooh, Amanda, on YouTube. Any tips to get out of credit card debt due to a shopping addiction? Okay. So this actually is a good question because a lot of the things that I've been talking about are about spending and about how spending can increase money. There is a caveat to this though, so I'm really glad you brought this up because it would be responsible of me to mention this. Shopping cash. I don't mean you have to have actual cash, but what I mean is when you purchase things, you want to be purchasing things with money that you have rather than on credit cards unless your intention is to pay off your credit card in full each month. Now, let me explain why this is important, okay? If you're in the habit of purchasing on credit and not paying your credit cards off, what you're saying energetically is, I don't have the money for this. Okay. I have to use somebody else's money for I don't have the money for this. That's the message. Every time you shop and you plan on not paying for it for a while, that's the message that you're putting out energetically to the universe is I don't have the money for this. I don't have the money for this. And again, the universe always matches what you put out. So as you start to go through that process, you'll have this situation that occurs that happens to a lot of people that are using credit cards is that the debt just gets steeper and steeper, more and more problematic, and they find themselves further and further in debt. What you want to do is you want to do your best. And if you're in the debt right now, it's fine because it can be cleared. All right. As soon as you possibly can, we'll talk about something else. But right now, when you shop in cash. Okay. That's the big thing because when you shop in cash or you use a credit card that you pay off each month and you're just doing it for the points or whatever, what you say energetically every time you spend is, I have the money for this. I got the money for this. I got cash in my account for this. I have money for this. And that builds money for you. See, most people feel that if they spend the money that they have, they're not going to have money. But it's not about whether you spent it or not. It's about what was the message that you put out into the universe because this whole thing here, folks, is a dream. Okay, so the messaging is what's important. If I'm always saying, I've got money, 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 your bank account's going to build, even if you spend. But if you're spending from a credit perspective and not paying it back, you're saying, I don't have money. I don't have money. I don't have money. I don't have money. Money will go down for you. Okay. So that's the first thing spend in cash. The second thing is, just do your best to pay it off as quickly as you can. And here's the thing I would recommend the more you can put on it and act like it's not a big deal, the better. So, like a lot of times with credit card debt, people want to pay the minimum or they just want to pay a few extra bucks and they want to keep, maybe you've got $5,000 in your bank account and you got $50,000 in credit card debt and you want to hold on to that 5,000. So you're just paying like 100 towards the credit card bill. I would try to push yourself to give more. Because what that says is I've got money for this. I've got money to pay this down, not I don't have enough. So the more that you can put towards it and be okay with it, the quicker it's going to go down. And not because the money actually matters, it's because of the message. Because the message you want to be saying is, I've got money for this. I've got money for this. I've got money for this. Okay. Do your best, guys, to try and pay in cash as much as you can because that's really going to accelerate your abundance growth. There is a big temptation a lot of times to take loans or that kind of stuff, but be mindful of that. It's okay to accept gifts. Gifts are cool. You know, if you get a gift is a gift. I would accept a gift, but loans and living off of loans or credit that kind of puts you in that state where you're always saying, "I don't have, I don't have, I don't have." There's some other examples where credit can be useful. You know, if you're using credit to invest, there's times where people use loans to put into investments. There's ways to work the magic a little bit differently if we're talking on a larger scale. But when we're talking about individual credit card debt, that is what I recommend. San Remo says, nice socks. I want 100 million cash. I said start with the start with the socks. Start with the socks if you're not there yet. Okay. That's just for people that are really kind of in that place where they're not giving themselves the things that they want. You want to start where you can feel good about getting what you want just so you can get used to the vibration. You'll get to the cash. Leslie Williams, I always what I want get what I want or better. Hey, I like that. That's a good improvement on what I said. Ah, Danny says, "Hi Andrea. Do you have any tips on reframing fear of being taxed more for making more, aka more effort on my business equals less money for me?" Okay. Well, that kind of goes back to the drop in the bucket thing. Okay. That I mean, if it's a $50,000 tax bill, then sometimes that's hard to see as a drop in the bucket, but that's the goal. And by the way, if you're to that point where you're spending that kind of money in taxes, then that amount of money should naturally start to look like less anyway. I've got a friend who does very well, makes good money. And she does such a good job making money. Money flies out really quick though, okay? And this is one thing that I've noticed is that she does this and I've seen her do it with taxes specifically. Okay, so she has a good year, great year, lots of money. But then the tax bill comes and she's just PO'd, okay? She's telling everybody how much these taxes are and oh my gosh, and making such a big fuss out of all this money going out, okay? And then what happens is the focus of the mind is money is going out. And so then more money goes out. So this is one thing that kind of screws her up with money is that she does a great job bringing money in, but then I've seen her have just like these huge losses, like big investments just crash and burn, big things come up, yank the money away. That's what's going on. So she's really good about I attract money, money comes to me, but then when money goes out, it's like I'm gonna cry and complain about it, and then the money goes back out. Okay, so taxes, as much as everybody has a negative opinion about taxes, taxes are a great opportunity. Okay, they're a great opportunity for you to practice being okay with letting go. The easier it is for you to let go, the easier you're going to receive. The harder it is for you to let go, the more is going to be taken away from you. Okay. And so this is something to understand is that as taxes go up, it's a good sign that you are being prepared vibrationally to let go on higher levels, meaning you can attract on higher levels. So to reframe this, I would think about this. Think about somebody who runs like a huge business, Danny. Like I mean Fortune 500, like huge business, billions of dollars. Okay? What's their tax bill look like? Now also, what kind of expenses do you think they have? The people who are attracting the most amount of money are people who spend the most amount of money, even the frugal ones. Okay. So a lot of times people will say, "Oh, what about Warren Buffett, Andrea? Everyone knows Warren Buffett is frugal." Well, do you know how many people he's employing? Office buildings and planes and all this stuff. He's spending a lot of money. Maybe he lives in a modest house, but he's spending money in lots of places. Wealthy people are finding ways to spend their money. Now, here's the thing about the way that wealthy people spend their money is that they don't look at it typically as money just being gone. Typically, what they look at it as is an investment. Okay, so as I'm spending, these are investments. And so as you spend large chunks of money, whether it's on employees, whether it's on an office building, whether whatever, you want to train yourself to look at it as an investment. Well, how do you look at taxes as an investment? Hmm? A lot of people just think taxes are a waste of money, right? But they're not. I mean, what's the taxes being used for is one way to look at it. I'm investing in my community. That's one way to look at it. I'm investing in my ability to look at this like this isn't a big deal. I'm investing in my ability to let go of money with ease. Okay. Look at it that way. Because the easier it is for you to be okay with large amounts of money being gone, the easier you let it go, the more you're like, this is not a big deal. More is coming. And then more shows up for you. Okay, that's one of the big dynamics that people who attract a lot of money kind of get. They're okay with being a little bit more speculative. They're okay with letting go of it more. They have this faith that more is coming. Whereas people who are having a hard time attracting the money that they want, they have a hard time letting go because they're afraid that more money's not going to come. And then through the law of attraction, that's what happens because the law of attraction will always match your frequency. So you want to be mindful of that. Look at taxes as an opportunity. Now, you don't need to be thrilled about it. Okay. A lot of you aren't thrilled about taxes. Okay. But it is an opportunity if you choose to look at it that way, is what I would say. All right, guys. Got questions? Go ahead and put them in the chat. Talking about abundance. Mohammed says, can praying and asking God to give you money affect manifestation negatively? It depends on how you ask. Okay. So a lot of people are praying for things and asking for things and not getting results. And some people are praying for things and asking for things and getting results. And it depends on how you look at the situation. If you feel that it's inappropriate, that you're not supposed to have it, that God would not want you to have it, then it might. But if you look at it as I'm supposed to have everything that I want, this is my reality. I'm supposed to be creating it in the image that I want. God wants me to create the world that I want to have. If you have that more entitled attitude, then it won't. And again, that's kind of our unpopular opinion. Number one is being privileged and feeling like you're privileged and entitled is absolutely necessary when it comes to attracting a more privileged lifestyle. A lot of people don't like that idea, but it is a more unlimited perspective. If you don't feel like you're allowed or it's inappropriate, what you're saying to the universe and to God is, I'm not supposed to have that. Okay, so I'm not sure how you're asking God, but is God your friend or is God your punisher? That's what I would be thinking about. Depends on your perception. It would depend on your perception. I am king of the universe, says reflexology. Yes. Oh, it just jumped. I had one, but it jumped. Okay. How Tweet to Perfection says how to quickly go from hardcore victim from 25 plus years to rich child of a loving God. Quick is the operative word. Yes. Don't we all like quick? Well, it depends on how willing you are to focus. Okay. Anything can be done really quickly, guys. Like a lot of people want to do fast manifestation. Fast manifestation can always be done, but your focus has to be like you got to be locked in. You got to be locked in. So you've got to decide that I am going to focus on, I'm the king, I'm in charge, I'm the queen, things are working for me, everything's good, money's working out for me. And every time those negative beliefs come up, you got to have the discipline to say, okay, I'm going to distract myself. Okay, I'm going to let that go. And a lot of times people have the tendency to want to look back at the old beliefs and then they get sucked back into them. Okay, so when I say discipline, that does sound like hard work. And it could be, depending on how you look at it. But if you really get your mind around this is really just a focus game. Where am I placing my attention? That's the big thing. Give yourself full permission to dive in with I'm focusing on my abundance. I'm focusing on things working out for me. I'm focusing on how I am blessed. How are things positive for me? Why is my life a good life? I'm walking away from conversations with people who don't believe in abundance. I'm turning off programming that makes me feel poor. The more you just dial in, the quicker it will be. Just the big thing that holds people out is that tendency to look back at the old belief. The old beliefs are very ingrained. So they're seductive. They'll pull you in fast. So at first, you really have to be disciplined at looking into the positive beliefs. Over time, that becomes very simple. But the more you can focus quickly, the quicker you're going to get to that place. Holly Elizabeth says, I started my own business almost a year ago. Congrats. I've been too generous and feeling like I'm paying for it now by people not taking me seriously. Okay. I think I know what you're saying because I kind of went through this. It may be different, but I'll tell you how I interpret this or how I feel that I work through this myself. So I started a business, okay? Um, I used to be too generous. Generosity is a good thing, by the way. We're talking about this. Giving, good thing. Letting go, good thing. Okay. There's a difference between giving benevolently as the king or the queen or allowing things to be taken from you against your will. I hope that makes sense. And so you kind of want to be mindful of that. And one thing that this works itself out is that sometimes what will happen is that as a new business owner, people can, okay, I think that I should give this away for free. So, like, I'm selling courses. I was talking about these courses that I'm selling. My courses aren't cheap, guys. You guys know that. But I used to sell stuff real cheap because my attitude was, okay, people don't want to spend that much. I want to be nice to them, blah, blah, blah. And then what ends up happening is that you're not giving from a place of strength. You're giving from a place of people don't want to pay for this. My work isn't worth anything. And then that will impact your business negatively. So, what I might recommend, I don't know if this is your particular issue, but you might want to consider raising your prices. Um, don't give away too much for free. Decide something that makes you feel good about what you're I'm not saying take advantage of people, but what do you feel is fair and stick to it. Okay? There is a thing reciprocity is important. It's not about just giving, giving, giving and never getting anything back because that can put you into a victim state as well. Okay. If there's an area of your life that feels like you're just hemorrhaging money because you're giving too much, it's probably because you have that balance off. You're not giving from a place of strength. You're not giving from a place of this is a drop in the bucket. You're probably giving from a place of I don't feel confident enough in this yet, or I don't think people want to pay this much for it yet, and that is a different energy that can hemorrhage your business. All right, Evan, thank you for the super chat. Evan, I currently suffer from a debilitating mental health condition called retroactive jealousy, OCD. How could I apply the law of attraction to overcome this? Thanks. Ooh, okay. So I know what OCD is, retroactive jealousy OCD. I have not heard of, which is interesting to me. Okay, so but with mental health conditions, okay, please do understand that a mental health condition is an area of focus, and it's not necessary that you stay there forever. It's also like physical conditions. So a lot of times people think that they have something, they're going to have it forever. And then that keeps them entrenched in an identity that I have this. This is part of who I am. This is what makes me who I am. And when we start to identify with these diagnoses, they can become very ingrained and very hard to come out of because what we're saying is, I am this condition. Now, I say this with experience, and you guys may have heard this before that I had substance abuse, big substance abuse issues. So I am a drug addict was my, was my mantra for many years. I was also diagnosed with borderline personality disorder at one point. Well, I am a borderline was my attitude. And today I don't fit the criteria for either of those things. So they're not necessary. But what's necessary is that you have to start to understand that there is another version of you that is different and that you don't have to be that particular thing. So the first thing I would say is I'm not saying to throw not go to your therapist or not do all that stuff. Do the stuff that you need to do. But you want to start to look at yourself as a healthy person, mentally healthy person. How am I a mentally healthy person? What am I getting right? Why is my head on straight? Why am I making good choices for myself? Why am I competent physically, emotionally, spiritually? And I talked about this before in some other lives that these are ask formations. They're very helpful at getting you into alignment with a different perspective. A lot of times when we're given a diagnosis, we go diving into the opposite. How do I have this form of OCD? How many of these symptoms am I exhibiting? What did my childhood set me up for? And you go digging into why am I this condition rather than why am I mentally healthy? The more you look into why am I a healthy person? Why is my head on straight? Why are my emotions in the right? Why am I focusing on the right stuff? The more your mind is going to line you up with that reality, the different version of you. Okay. So it's not a lifelong necessity. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining in and putting some of these questions here in the chat. Again, we've been talking about how to make the universe give you money. And as a reminder, again, I do have this sale going on right now on two of my programs. It's the best price of the year sale for both of these programs. One is my Manifesting Mastery program. So if you are either new to the law of attraction or you've been working with it, but you're getting spotty or inconsistent results, this one is like my boot camp program that will help you become a lot more consistent with manifesting. That's Manifesting Mastery. The other program that's having its best price of the year sale is my Signs from the Universe program. That program is about learning how to interpret symbols and guidance from the universe. Okay, so all day long, you're getting all kinds of hits that are telling you which way to move, what to do, what actions to take. And most people are completely oblivious to these symbols and signs. So that program is really good for interpreting guidance from the universe. Again, both of those programs are on sale right now for 50% off for 1 week only. So that sale will be ending on Thursday, June 25th. And Mary, if you would go ahead and put those links into the chat again, I would appreciate it to both of those programs. On Facebook, I think I've got a link to the Manifesting Mastery one. Yeah, she just dropped it in there. They're the Manifesting Mastery and the Science from the Universe course. You can use the code POWER, POWER, to get 50% off one or both of those programs, whatever you want. But again, that code expires on Thursday, June 25th. Again, thanks so much for tuning in, guys, for me with this chat. I've had a lot of fun. I do plan on doing another live in a couple of days. I think I'm going to do it on Sunday about the same time, which is 11:30 Eastern. Don't hold me to it because I may change my mind. But if you're around on Sunday, go ahead and check me out because I may be live again with my next manifesting topic. But again, thanks so much for signing in to watch with me. I've enjoyed talking to you guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Okay. All right. Bye bye, guys.